Valentine's Day is an anniversary for when everything that happened to me, starting from Alaska, that ended up in Idaho, that put me in a position to pick up the camera. And after all these years, 18 of them, this will be 19, I'm going to tell my side of the story, called The Way I Did It. Now, this is Facebook Live. I talk a lot. And if you don't want to hear this, turn me off. I really don't care. February 14th, where I got a job at that building, at that TV station on Blue Lakes Boulevard in Twin Falls, Idaho. I got there at 1:30 in the afternoon, February 2005, Valentine's Day. Name of the station is called KMVT. The news director's name is Joe Martin. How did I end up in Twin Falls, Idaho? Funny you should ask. Everything got started, and I won't elaborate, but I'm going to fill in all the blanks because no one's really heard this side of the story. And I was going to do this great big video of this and video of that and put music to it and all that shit. And I'm going, just after last night, I had an incident that happened on Sunday. I needed to vent. I called Michelle Blackmore. We talked for about 2 hours, and she mentioned PTSD. And I went, what? And I went, oh, shit. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? So here we go. For me to get there, I was living in Fairbanks, Alaska, and I was at a TV station called CBS 13. And I got fired from that job, basically because I left a tripod in the snow. That turned into an argument. That turned into me not going to work, leaving them helpless because they didn't have anybody to do the weather on the air. I walked back in the next day and I found a check, my desk cleaned off, and I was fired from that job. That was on a Monday, 2005. I just got back off of vacation. So I'm going, okay, we're out of a job. And everybody at the house is mad and angry, especially my ex-wife. Tuesday morning, I get an email from that TV station from the news director who says, hey, can you send me a tape of you doing the weather? And I went, who is this? And he goes, Joe Martin, KMVT. I said, okay. Wow. I said, yeah, I'll send it to you. Hung up, got a tape together. I had one, so I just sent it to him. The funny thing is about when he called or when he sent the email, because we never talked. We only talked on the phone one time when I did the deal, and I did the deal in front of Mount McKinley at Denali View. Anyway, all of this was in January. We hadn't even got to February yet. So the number one thing in Fairbanks, Alaska, I think it's still happening that way. Maybe things have changed. I haven't been there for a while, but the most crowded place in Fairbanks, Alaska, early in the morning is at the airport at FedEx. There's a line all the time. People are standing outside in 20, 30 below to send their packages out. And I stood in there. I stood outside 35 minutes. It was 22 below. Went in there, sent it to him. But I'm sitting here going, I'm reading that email, and I'm going like, oh my God, I'm going to Twin Falls, Idaho. And the first thought that came to me was, I wonder if there are any black people there. So I sent in the tape. This was in January. I'm driving to Seward for the Polar Bear Festival. He calls me on the road. The phone signal is weak, but I got to Denali View, and he liked the tape. He wanted to hire me, and he was going to pay me more money down there than I was getting in Alaska. So I'll leave the day after the Super Bowl and come to Twin Falls. The perception was I walked out on him. And I didn't find that out till 6 years later after they got the house. I'm sitting there watching the Super Bowl. And after the Super Bowl, I left and drove to Twin Falls, Idaho in a 1989 Lincoln Town Car. The trip was something to behold, let me tell you. I left at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was 28 below, ice fog. I remember driving. The first place I stopped and slept was, in fact, I got so scared. It finally hit me that I was leaving after 31 years, and I'm driving this moose across the road. I remember when the moose crossed the road just before I got to Delta Junction, I remember saying to myself, that's the last time I'm ever going to see a moose. And it was true, because I didn't see one until 6 years later. But anyway, I'm on the Alcan Highway. I get to the border at Beaver Creek, and on the U.S. side, and those people watch us on TV down there in Fairbanks, and they go like, "Hey, you're not on TV anymore, are you?" I'm like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. 1 minute you're on, next minute you're not." I said, "No, I'm going to Twin Falls, Idaho." He goes, "Have a safe trip. We're gonna miss you, man." So I took off and I drove, and I'm driving a 1989 Lincoln Town Car. It was dirty, and I wrote on the back of the window, "Going to Twin Falls, Idaho from Fairbanks, Alaska." I drive and down the Alcan, and I go through Seattle, and I take I-90 down to Ellensburg, cut over to 84. I wasn't hauling ass, but like I was really so enjoying myself. The next thing you know, I'm getting closer to this place. So I ended up going to Twin Falls, Idaho, and I ended up in Twin Falls, Idaho. Now, before I got there, I turned left off of the interstate, and the first thing I saw was that. And that's the Snake River Canyon. And on this side is a golf course. And I was like, my God, I've been in Alaska too long. There's life outside of Alaska. Look at this. I fell in love with that. So I crossed the bridge, and the other thing that I noticed when I was there, that people were jumping off the bridge into the Snake River. These people are jumping off the bridge into the Snake River, 416 feet from the top of the bridge into the river. It's called base jumping. Twin Falls is the base jumping capital of the world. All right? So I get to Twin Falls, Idaho, in that building to start my new job as a weather guy on February 14th, 2005 at 1:30 in the afternoon. It lasted for almost 2 years. And what started everything from that point was a TV show. These people got a house on the TV show Extreme Home Makeover, My Family. Okay? And the shit hit the fan. Everything hit the fan. And I lose the job at the TV station, and I'm in the middle of a separation. And oh, by the way, the last thing in the world that I ever thought that was going to happen, but there's a story with this, and I have to tell you, because the last thing in the world that I thought that was going to happen was I was going to have another child. My 10th child. That's Joseph. Joseph, I call him the tarot card baby. Tarot card? Yeah. The tarot card baby. All right. What are you talking about? That's him now. Last thing in the world I ever thought he was going to do was play football, but he did. Anyway, I got to Twin Falls in February. In March, I was there a month. All right. And everything was going good. I'm this new thing in Twin Falls, and everybody's like, we got a black TV guy doing the weather on TV. I was like, it was like I was a rock star. That's the only way to put it. Okay, I just thought it was so cool. I go to the store to get a pack of cigarettes. There's a tarot card reader in the back of the store. I go back in there. I said, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Can you read my card?" She goes, "Oh, you're the TV guy, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah." I said, "How much is it?" She goes, "It's on me." And I said, "Okay, fine." So I sat there, and she's laying the cards out, and her demeanor had changed reading the cards. And she goes, "Mr. Rogers, I know you're married and everything like that, but these cards are telling me something else, and I just thought I better tell you." And I said, "Tell me what?" She says, "These cards are telling me that you're going to have another child." And I went, "What?" "I have 9. She goes, "You're going to have another one." I said, "That's impossible." She goes, "Mr. Rogers, I'm just telling you what the cards say. You're going to have another one. I don't know. I know you're married and da-da-da, but these cards are telling me you're going to have another child. It's going to be with someone else. And that someone else is not Caucasian. Your wife is Caucasian, right?" I said, "Yes." "No, it was someone else, different race." I said, "Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me I'm getting a divorce?" She goes, "I don't know if you're getting a divorce. I just know that the next child that you have, according to these cards, is going to be with someone else. And oh, by the way, it's going to be a boy." And I went, "Yeah, right." During that period, my ex-wife and I decided to separate. And we didn't get a divorce. We were just legally separated. Okay. So we decided to separate. And during that period, they got that house. And during that period, I went from to the biggest piece of shit west of the Mississippi River. Basically because the perception was people thought I walked out on my family in Alaska. So when the house thing came out, I got fired from the TV station in Twin Falls, Idaho. And there I was. And I'm going like, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. So the relationship I had with Joseph's mother, that didn't last. It ended. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, how am I going to fix this? And the only thing at the time that I could do where I could take care of child support for 2 families, yeah, you guessed it, drive a truck. That's how the truck driving came. And all the money from truck driving went to those guys. By the time I got done with a paycheck from the garnishment of 2 families in child support, I had $52 to my name. So where did the camera come in? The camera came as a result of me missing my children and going through that traumatic period. I mean, now this is me personally, not the other. And I'm going to not make it like everybody's the bad guy. But I picked up the camera because I missed the kids. My ex-wife told me that once the kids grew, there was 2 things I was going to miss about them that's going to be very traumatic for me. And I didn't believe her, but it did happen. Because the kids sided with her during the divorce. And I'm all alone. And one of the things I loved being around my kids was watching football. And from the time that ended, I couldn't watch football on TV because I didn't have the kids. I missed them immensely. That was number one. It was killing me. I don't even know how I was driving a truck because every breathing, waking moment, I was thinking about the kids. It was bad. Number 2, I was in a period where I couldn't distinguish the true from the false. So I picked up a camera and I started shooting. And over time, I got good with the camera. And then the worst thing, I'm going to say the worst thing, but as a result of me getting good with the camera, I decided that I'm going to turn this into a business and a profession and move to Las Vegas. And everything in Las Vegas started in 2014, living in that car. okay, to put an end to the story, to the anniversary that started on Valentine's Day at 1:30 in the afternoon, was the simple fact that my friend told me when I went back to Alaska in 2011. It was the worst time ever going home that I could ever possibly imagine. Okay. The TV show aired in September 2006. I still have it. I don't watch it, but I have it. And one of the reasons why I kept it, because since I had not had any kind of relationship with my kids, it was the only thing that I had to watch them when they were little. And they were kids. Now they're grown adults. So that's why I kept it. But the one thing that a person alerted me to was, and her name was Ann, and she's no longer with us, she passed away, but she came up to me and she said, Michael, I was at a meeting, and she says, Michael, I just want you to know, I know you want to tell your side of the story. I know you didn't walk out on your family. There's a lot of people know that you didn't do this, but you have to understand something. I said, what? Nobody knew where you were. One minute you were on TV, the next minute you're gone. Nobody knew where you were. So when it came time for them that TV show, people actually thought you walked out on them and left them homeless. And you know about perception, and that stayed with them. So just so you know, nobody knew where you were. We all didn't know where you were. We're sitting here at the meeting trying to go like, where is he? Where did he go? Where did he go? We didn't know where you were. We thought you were dead. We thought you were dead. So, the rest is history. The rest is history. Everything with me got started in that building in Twin Falls, Idaho, on Valentine's Day, 2005, at 1:30 in the afternoon. When they fired me, they gave me a check for $1,800. They escorted me out the door, and the last thing said to me was, if I came back on the property, they were going to call the cops and put me in jail. Now, they didn't fire me for the TV show because I was under contract. They couldn't fire me for that, so they fired me for something else, something stupid. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what that something stupid is, but it was stupid. Anyway, that's the story. That's it. That's the way I did it. That's how everything came out to the way it comes out. PTSD. I was looking at it, and then somebody mentioned to me, not somebody, my friend mentioned to me about therapy. I said, I'm not getting no damn therapy. And she goes, no? I said, no. I said, this is going to be with me for the rest of my life. All these people who kept telling me, and I could be making a mistake, and that's fine. What else is new? But everybody's never going to, you got to learn to love yourself. You got to let it go. You got to move forward. You got to love yourself. And I'm going like, it was me loving myself that put myself in that position in the first place. It's called being selfish. Yeah, love yourself, right? So I said, I'm not going to do therapy. No matter what happens, this event was so traumatic for me personally because of the kids. It put me in a position that the only way I could stop thinking about them was pick up a camera. But every now and then, it comes back in different forms. Sunday, during the Super Bowl, I'm sitting in front watching the game, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I busted out crying because I didn't have the kids in front of all those people at Mandalay Bay. It just happened. It just happened. I went home, came back, saw the beginning of the third quarter. Philly scored. I went home. I said, this game's over. Okay? So I go through these things. Now, one of the things that I taught myself when I go through these episodes, I'll see something that'll set a trigger off in me, and I'll just sit still and be quiet for about 15 minutes. And it goes away. But I'm not going to no therapist and try to make this thing go away and move. It's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And as a result of me being here and being alone, I figured out that a lot of stuff personally with me began in my childhood. I'm starting to figure all that out. And a lot of things are making sense. Okay? The only thing that really truly saved my life in this period was picking up a camera and meeting my granddaughter Emerald, because Emerald and I met when she was 4. Now she's 18. She was the biggest part of my life because nobody would not give me the time of day. Two of my kids and I have reconciled. The others haven't. They chose to stay. And when I reached out, when I tried to do all the stuff to get, wasn't happening, wasn't meant to be. Or as I like to say, sometimes God says no. So that's it. I used to be a furniture store. And my office, my desk was right there. Right there. I would look out the window and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, the way I did it, that's the way I did it. Not looking for anything. I'm sorry I'm taking up a lot of your time. I feel better because I got it out. No, I'm not going to leave this up for the world to see. But I just thought I'd share it with you. And because I'm talking too long, you probably won't get through the whole damn thing in the first place because I talk too much. I do. Last but not least, and I'll never forget this, because when I got there, and I was talking with one of the staff members there, and everybody's going like, wow, man, you're tearing this place up. You are just Mr. Kick-Ass. And I said, I'll be fired in a year. And they go, what? I said, I'll be fired in a year. He goes, what makes you say that? I said, because I'm one of these type of people. I get a lot of attention. And I've been doing that all my life. And the thing is that when I get a lot of attention and people see it, they get jealous. And this is going to happen here, just like it happened in Alaska, just like it happened everywhere. I just get a lot of attention. People get mad. I said, I'll be gone in a year. Maybe a year and a half. He goes, you're serious? I said, you watch. I'm going to get, you people think I'm the biggest thing since duh. Oh, a black weather guy in Twin Falls, Idaho. And I'm getting all this attention. And everybody else is going like, they get jealous. And the people who get jealous are in key positions that can make my life miserable. And that's what happened. Happened in Alaska. Same way. Not blaming anything. 85% of everything that happened to me from the time all of this started till now, I own it. It was self-inflicted. 85% of it. Everybody says, you're beating yourself up. I go, no, I'm not. But that's what happened. So let's see, I got there in 2005. I was gone at the end of 2006. I was there a year and a half. Yeah, because I was gone right after the TV show. Excuse me, I was gone before the TV show aired. It aired in September 2006. I was gone before it aired. I went to Alaska to look at the place, and of all people, Moo gave me a tour of the house. And then I left. And then I watched it on TV. That's a story for another time. That was pretty bad that night. But that's it. So I'm done. It's all over with. And I'm just going to get through it. So far, I've been doing okay. But now I'm going to Alaska in the summer. And then I'm going back to Twin Falls later that summer. And I'll stop there and look at that place again. But everything got started in that building. And everything that I got through was the way I did it. So when I do this thing and title it, that's what it's going to be called. The way I did it.